Good afternoon. Or should I say welcome to all my family out there. My name is Melvin Jackson, and we got some real talk today. Excuse my manners. First, welcome to the Anchor Club. Once again, my name is Melvin Jackson. I'm your host, your big brother, my brother's keeper, if you mind, or if you, I should say, don't mind. Welcome. Certainly you're in the right place. For whatever reason you're here, I have a message for you. I have a message for us. We have work to do, my brothers and sisters, my family. If you're new with us, I hope to see you again, and I hope this won't be the last time you hear the sound of my voice. My job is to give you something to think about. Weigh it out. See where it fits. I hope it fits, because it's the truth. I'm about the truth. I'm not about lollygagging. I don't play games. Excuse some of the strong talk, but in order to get down to what we need to get down, we need to stop it with the games. We need to take it straight, deal with what we need to deal with, so we can move on. We can become, happy, healthier, and maybe start to feel good about ourselves. Start to put some of these painful things that haunt us in the back of our memory, that sometimes it throws us off. It throws us off our target, and we can't allow that to keep, or should I say, to persist. We need to look at it, we need to fix it, we need to get after it. That's what we're about. Getting after it. That's the only way we get results. And so, I can't hold my tongue any longer, family. Facing our fears. That's what today's lesson is. Facing our fears. Going in a very uncomfortable area or place, if you will. For me, it is both. And it is in my memory. I realize in having the strength that God gave me to come into space where I am in terms of my thinking, and to be, some things make me nervous. Going inside myself sometimes does that. When I'm touching on very sensitive areas, I do my best to be careful where I tread or where I walk. But sometimes to challenge those fears, I gotta become fearless. My Father allows me to be fearless because there's therapy in regurgitating. There's therapy when I go after things that are on the shelf, if you will, in my storeroom, and it's gathering too much space. And I need to get or delete some of these things. The only way I can make peace with them is I have to revisit them. They're painful. Some memories are very painful. But there lies my growth. If I don't clean this room up, and pardon my expression, I look at it as a room in my head and in my heart. And if I don't clean it up, I'll carry this everywhere I go. Some things, beloved, of the past don't need to be carried. It becomes a burden. Life have burdens within the day, whether I realize it or maybe whether you realize it or not. But in order to get to it, I got to clean some of this mess up. Ooh, excuse me. Facing my fear is one of them. I have memories, if you will. I'll start by just saying a little about myself. If you don't mind, I'll go back into the thoughts and the memories of my mind. I'll say I was about 6 years old. We were going swimming. I was in a class, like most of us. I could remember this. I could remember holding hands with a partner. That's like daycare center action. Excuse me. But that's one of the things that's as far as this thought certainly will take me back in terms of things that I gathered in my youth. And let me get on with the story. I used to brag a lot, talk a lot. And one thing I always, for some reason, bragged about was that I was a good swimmer. And that couldn't be further from the truth. But I remember boasting about how good a swimmer I was. One of the kids came up behind me as we passed the pool to go. The pool we used to go to was called Cantona Pool. It was in the Bronx. And we used to go the way that the pool or the area was made. I could recall that we used to pass the big pools to go to the small kiddie pools where we were going. I remember it was a class, if you will, as far as my memory, I'd say about 12, maybe 14, maybe not quite that much, but my memory says something about that. I remember we were 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, holding hands. Whoever was behind me, I guess I found out later on in life the way it is, was behind me was a practical joker. His name was Aaron Crump. He's since passed, and God bless him, and may he rest in peace. I'll get on with the story, and then I'll tie it in for you if I can. Well, he came behind me, and he was walking behind me, and when we passed the deepest pool coming into the pool area was 16 feet out. I will never forget that, I can assure you. Well, anyway, he came behind me and he pushed me so hard. Thank God I didn't take my partner with me. He or she, probably she back in then, boy, girl, pushed me so hard in the pool, and we were so close. I didn't have time to literally stop my forward motion. I went in the pool. This I can remember, and this what I can bear witness to. It happened so fast. I could remember being a young, maybe like I said, about maybe 6, maybe 7, maybe even 5. I'm not sure. But let me get to the point. I fell in the water. I think how I ended up with my back towards the water is I tried to turn to see if it was something that I could grab, but the distance that I was from the pool and the shove that he gave me, I believe I tried to turn around because there was nothing else to grab, but I couldn't. And there I went in the pool. I could recall this. It's painful, but I will recall it. I remember trying to turn, like I said, I couldn't stop the motion. I hit the water and I began to sink emerge in the water. I could remember I didn't know what to do. And I did the worst thing most people say you can do, is panic. I panicked, and this I could tell you. I held my breath as long as I could, and then I tried to breathe. And when I breathed, quite naturally, I just swallowed more water. All of this happened in a span, I can't tell you exactly. I've relived it and rethought it after the event, and I think when the more I tried to, oh boy, tried to understand what that moment brought to me was I was submerging in the water. A kid of whatever age I was, I could remember saying to myself, "Oh, Melvin, is this how we're gonna die?" I was asking myself a question. I don't know where that came from, and or I don't I don't understand, but I can't tell you what happened as a result of it. When I look back and took the hardest look, I tried to put a time base on what happened to me and how it happened and relive it, but I couldn't make much sense. So let me go on with the story. The next thing I could recall remembering was I came back up. I believe, excuse me, I'm jumping myself. I lost consciousness and I wasn't aware of what happened. I, it was like when the TV screen just go out. Yeah, my TV screen went out. And when I came back to, I was, if I could say, a foot away from the side. I could recall grabbing the side of the pool, looked like it was that little round bevel part, so you don't raise yourself or scratch yourself. The tip of the pool wasn't sharp or anything, and I grabbed hold of it, and I was able to pull myself up to the wayside, to my waist, out of the water. My feet and my behind, if you will, was still in the water, but my upper body was outside the water. This I could recall because I was dazed but scared to death, but I was conscious. And I remember all of the ruckus, if I can use that word, or all the confusion, because I could remember the teacher running frantically, if you will, towards me, saying, "Oh my God, oh my God." By the time she got to me and pulled the rest of my body, if you will, out the water, I recall her saying, "Oh my God, are you all right? Are you all right? Sit still, breathe, breathe, breathe." That moment sort of lost in time in my heart, in my head, but it's certainly in my conscience. If I can, to stop there with the story, if you will, and go to this. One of the students that was in the school grew up in my area. In fact, he grew up in a couple of buildings away from me. We were so-called friends, I guess. That's another story. But I could recall what I could remember of the incident was she grabbed my hand and she said, "You are not going back in that water today, and you are going to sit with me." And she brought me all the way up to the front. And that pretty much was the rest of my day, other than the fact of when I went home, I was still afraid to think of what happened, that I don't recall telling my mother or anybody what happened and what took place. And I'll go back a bit. The friend that we grew up together, a long time ago we're talking, I recall we used to have a reunion in the area where I grew up, and we go back and stay in touch and see how everybody's doing, and see who's married and whose kid is this and the whole 9 yards. Well, before this brother Aaron passed away, I could remember one day that I seen him, and he was with somebody. I can't recall who it was, but it was somebody there, and this is how I could remember. He said to the person that was standing in front of me, it's like, "Oh, Melvin, hey, how you doing, man, blah, 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 blah." And he turned to the person and he said, "Let me tell you about him," he said to whoever that was with us or standing among us. He said, he, pointing to me, did something, he said, that I will never forget, he said. I guess whoever he was with said to him, "What?" He said, "I never seen anybody do what he did." That's what he said. "I never seen anybody do what he did." And the person said, "What you mean?" And he said, "I never forget him coming out of the water feet first," he said. He said, again, I bear witness and I speak the truth. He said, "I've never, ever seen anybody do what he did. He came out of the water when I pushed him with feet first." Okay, I stopped there for a minute to reason with whoever was a witness to what took place with the thought. Like I said, it's been locked in my memory for such a long time, even to a point where, like I said, because it scared me, so I never dared to mention that again. Okay, so my point is that, okay, so I'll jump this again. I have a brother, if you don't mind, I'll name his name is Rocky. He's a great swimmer. Me and him competed against everything, man. We were 1 year apart. We were probably the best of like twins, man. And we competed with absolutely everything. I don't know if we just found it fun to compete. He could say he's better with this, and swimming, hands down. I never even tried to dethrone that guy. But my point is this, that one day he was on vacation, and him and his wife, he went to explain, I forget where they work, but they do travel a lot. And he went to say to me, his wife wanted to do something that day, but he didn't really want to do it. So he said, "I'm going to stay in the room and just cool out. You go ahead and I'll meet you back here." He said she wanted to go wherever it was that she wanted to go. And he took a beach chair. He told me he set it outside his room. It was a real nice day. The pool was right downstairs. And he said, "I was just going to chill." Excuse, there go that word. "I was just going to relax and just sit here." He said when he got all set up, he started to put his beer on the side of his chair and just enjoy the moment. And he said when he looked down to the pool, he seen something that took his attention, and he said to himself, "What's that?" And then he told me the story from this point on, that he said, "I walked closer to the rail to get a better look, and when I looked, it appeared to me that either something is in that water or somebody's in that water." He said he threw what he had down and he ran down them steps and he dived in the pool. He dived in the pool, he went under, and he grabbed this little kid and he brought him out the pool. He said he started CPR, and all the people, the few people that was out there that seen what took place, was all frantic. Somebody yelled, called the ambulance, called the police, called 911, and so all of these things were brought into motion. Story goes, and he went on to go a little further, and I'll try to get through this quickly. He said the father ran when he seen the commotion. I guess his kid was missing. And he ran towards my brother. He seen my brother doing CPR. He started to grab my brother by the shoulder to say, "What are you doing to my son? What are you?" And they grabbed him and told him, no, he's trying to help him. Let him do what he's doing. Let him. And so I don't want to take you through the whole scene of that moment, other than the fact that by then they called the ambulance and the whole 9 yards. Rocky went on to say to me that about time, the ambulance came and they took over. And they rushed the little kid to the hospital. And naturally, when his wife came back, he told her what happened. He said most of the people in that hotel where they stayed at throughout the day was inquiring about the little boy. And then the news came back that the little boy survived and he was okay. The hotel took the bill from my brother and treated him like a VIP. My point is this: you kids drown, so unfortunate, and it happens all the time. And I can only imagine what my little experience was. That those things don't take long, and that's why now they put gates around pool and they use all of these extra security things so tragedies like that don't happen or take place. My point is that when you drink water, you don't come back to the top of the water. You sink in the water. And from what I understand, the one of the parts of drowning is when the body can't take on any more water and you lose consciousness. And excuse me by saying the rest is history, but I think we know it's not always a good outcome. Sometimes people are able to be saved depending on how long they were in the water, and all of those science for all of those so many things that I don't understand or know. But I do know this. Very rarely is there a story that a child that falls in that kind of deep water and panic like I did and drink water and you just panic. You don't know what to do. And everything you do, when they say when you panic, that's when you do what you shouldn't do. And so, you hear all of the good talk about remain calm. And I mean, that's for older people. I don't know if when you're facing a moment, all of that goes out the window. And I'm not trying to test that theory. What I'm trying to do is articulate a story to you. Like I said, so much. Oh, excuse me. One more thing that I do recall. Excuse me. Is that I've talked to a few people and my wife and a few people about it that's really close to me. Once again, that's not something I like to bring up as general conversation, other than the fact that I have a fear of water and I still have the fear of water. I've taken swim lessons and I have an extra barrier that I have to go through, for me to try, trust, and overcome some of these fears that I have within myself. But because of the experience, again. My point, I almost lost it. I'm sorry. That I could recall the teacher running back, and somebody asked me when I was talking. I don't know if it was my wife or whoever else I might have been talking to about that. That they said, well, maybe somebody went in the pool and helped you. And I said, well, I could recall this. When like I said, I laid and I tried to regain my everything, my balance, my head. It seemed like it all happened so fast that I could recall my teacher not saying, thank God this man was over here or this person was over here. You need to thank them. They saved you. If it wasn't for this or what, none of that. None of that. I assure you. My reason for telling that story is, years later, I thought about it and I wonder, did God save me? Because if not, then who did? The theory, I have to go with the theory of what I said earlier. You panic, you drink water. It doesn't hold you to the top of the water. I remember being submerged, going down in the water. I remember seeing the sunshine above the water as I could only remember that I had to been submerging with my back and my head looking up towards the water to have those memories of seeing the light, the sunlight glaze above the top of the water. That I do remember. I thought about it later. I thought about it and I thought about it. And I said, you know what? One day, I said to myself, I think God saved me. I don't know why. I don't know for what reason. It's a lot about that moment I don't understand, but I do understand that kids drown, and I don't like to use that phrase all the time. It is such a sad thing, but it happens more than we like to know that it happens. And I had to face that. I don't know what brought me out the water. Maybe that was a line in me, what my belief. I believe God saved me. I you know, I'm not trying to convince you of the story. You take what you can from it. I know what I lived, and I know what that moment was to me, and I know what happened. And when I put all of that together, I can't explain to you how I was able to walk away from such a tragic moment in my life. And ever since I completed that thought, I believe that is the case. He spared me. I don't know why. I don't necessarily, I wish I knew why. Up to now, I used to say to myself, I don't have to know why. There's a reason for everything, but I don't know all of the reasons that we face and that we go through, that we get a close call and we're able to walk away. Beloved, we start to store fearful things in our mind and in our heart. They taunt us for as long as we allow it. It's fear. And at some point in life, sometimes we have to challenge our fear, because life isn't meant for us to go through it fearing what's to come. We go into life or come into life and we experience whatever God has for us to experience. I don't know what your fear is, and I don't necessarily need to know, because fear is fear. But I think everybody has something. And sometimes in order for us to move on from our fears, we have to face them. We, at some point, have to face them. We can't drink them away. I tried it, naturally avoiding such things, but sometimes who knows what trigger thoughts? Again, family, there's still things that I don't know. And God is still teaching me. And I am becoming more teachable. But I learned to start to examine things, as my father said to me, come, let us reason. In scripture it says, come, let us reason. Well, why would God say to man, I say that's to me, come, let us reason, if I don't have reason in me? Why would God say that? But that I do have reason in me. But I need to know when and how to use my reasoning. And as a young boy growing up into an older boy, if you will, like I said earlier, we advance. As we get older, we look at things that we didn't know about. It's called learning. And then you get older, and then you start to say to yourself, I want to be free of some things that's important to me. I want to be fearless. Less. I want less fear. Because going forward, if I fear everything, I'll never try anything. I say this and I pass on this story. Later, years later, a couple of years ago, when I was taking swimming classes, one of the instructors, excuse me, I had a couple of them. I'm not all that, I can assure you, but I've overcome a lot of it, my fear. And I was in the swim class, and he said, okay, today I want everybody. He said, yo, all huddled over here. We got that big pool. Go all the way down there. Listen, I want us to get used to getting in deep water. Everybody come to the end of the pool. Well, most of the people, and I know me, and we look like going down there. Some people say, well, I can't walk down there. And the more you go in that direction, the pool it declines and you go deeper. And he said, well, gonna hold on to the side and move like a crab all the way to the end. We need to be in that end. So everybody did it. We was probably the funniest looking things. Getting to the side of the pool. Not too many of us swam down there, I can assure you, not in the beginner's class anyway. It was in a little deeper water. And he said, okay, today we're going to learn how to tread water, but I need somebody to volunteer. Everybody looked at each other, and I know I was one of them. I said, well, it surely won't be me. He looked at me, she looked at him, and it looked like nobody wanted to move. But the funny thing with me, when I was getting these little lessons, that was winning my confidence about saying, see, when you understand what you're doing and you know how to go about doing it, and you have a theory that the teacher's showing you, test the theory. It either is or it's not. I won't be a fool, excuse me, man, people. I won't be a fool to do those things on my own, but I rest assured with having a person like my instructor that is a swimmer and a lifeguard, that if anything happened, he could take care of me. I was under the conclusion that if I let go in deep water, I'll drop so fast like a rock, and my fear was that. And until you show me different, I'm gonna fear that. Well, anyway, here we go. We a circle of people. It's something similar. If you ever gonna learn, brother, you gotta take a chance here. Like I said, this guy's a lifeguard. He's a swimmer. He knows what to do. He's telling me, I got you. I got you. It's just me and you. I got you. If you can trust that, then you can take that next step. That is the difference between conquering your fear or living with it. Well, I was faced with that moment. And I said, you know what? I'll try it. Let me tell you. He said, all right, I want you to hold on. Everybody hold on to the pool and watch what I do. When I let go, I'm going to hold my breath. And so he goes into the doggy paddle. And then he stopped and he swam a little closer to us. And he said, okay, this is what I want you to do, he said to me. And he told me. And I went out there. I went a little further out, from where everybody was standing. And I said, here we go. And I let go. And I started paddling like a dog that was paddling for his life, because there was no safety strap on me, if you will. My only assurance is what I trusted with this lifeguard. And I let go and I started paddling. And there was an eerie silence. It was almost as if to say, like I could see him, but I can't. He was behind me doing like this. Like, don't disturb his moment. See? And I'm doing like this. And I even laughed just thinking about it, because I'm watching myself and I'm still nervous and scared, saying the minute I stop this, I'm gonna drop like a rock. Anyway, I did this for a few minutes, and then he grabbed me and pulled me to the side. And then we went on to talk, he went on to, give other people a chance, and I guess that encouraged other people to take a chance. Not everybody, but whoever was willing to try it. And then I found myself later near the pool with him talking, and I said, I always had the fear that if I let go, I would drop like a rock. And he said to me, listen, for you to go down to that, to submerge in the water, I have to decompress my lungs because my lung is like an inner tube and it has ear. As long as I have ear in my system, meaning I'm breathing, that I won't drop like that. So I said, okay, that makes sense. He said, okay, check this out. Put your head under the water. I had them swimming goggles. He said, put your head under the water and go down with me and see if what I'm telling you is right. Watch what I do, he said. You're going to see bubbles come up because I'm trying to blow the air out of my mouth. But the body won't just drop. It will slow. The more I let the air out, the lower I will go. It takes a lot for me to go straight down to the bottom. So anyway, I put my head under the water and he demonstrated it to me. And then he came up, he said, see? And I said, oh man. I said, I want to try that. Could you watch me? And he said, yeah, of course. That's what I'm here for. And I did it. Stop there. And I hope I'm not using too much of this time for this example. But I think this example is really, really important. I used to hear that phrase, let go and let God. But boy, when you got certain fears, it's not easy to let go. You got to be willing to let go. You have to be at the stage of letting go. There's a stage, or should I say, can I call it? I call it. You have to be at the place that you're really ready to do that, because assurances have to be in place for trust to take place, for you to challenge something that you've been fearing for so long. Reasoning has to be in a company with that. It has to be. I have to do the math for my own belief in what I'm doing or trying to do. Everybody has, different experiences, different fears, but speaking to the solution of the fear that it doesn't have a hold on you like it used to. It's not. It may take time to do that in completion. The very start of the thought is the beginning of the release. Say it again. Woo. Say it again. I have to be at that time, at that point in place in my life that I decide I'm going after this fear. I gotta go after this fear. Some things I don't always make the correlation with the two. But this is, if you will, hot-wired in a lot of directions in my life. When I'm facing fear, to become fearless, I have to have confidence. I have to, for me, have to have confidence in then being successful, whatever it is that I'm going to do. I need that example. I need, if you will, beloved, I need that challenge to free me. Because if I'm free this much, and every time I challenge, I get a freer, and confidence becomes fear's worst enemy, because I'm no longer afraid of the outcome. It encourages me to press onward and to keep doing like I was paddling. As long as you do this, you won't do that. And when I learn these things and ways that I can strengthen my belief in myself, for me, certainly in God, boy, but I don't do nothing without God. If God wasn't with me, I don't even want to think of that. But my point in saying is, so when we attack our fears and go after the things that we need to change, we need to be of courage. We don't stay locked down by that fear. The longer we have it, In fact, when we're free of it, we said, man, I wish I've done this a long time ago. No, come on now. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm talking to myself, and that's fine. But if there's somebody out there that understands what I'm saying or can articulate what I'm saying and what I'm trying to express is, our answer to our fear is on the other shoulder. We got two shoulders. We have to challenge whatever our fear is. If it's a fear and trust, I trust somebody. They let me down. Now I don't do that no more. How do you go through life without trusting? Maybe you go as far as you can, and maybe you go as far as you think you can. At some point in your life, you're gonna meet yourself down the road, beloved. You are going to meet yourself down the road because those things have to happen. These things in life have to happen for us to move forward and go forward with the confidence of what lies in our future. We got to put fear away. Only way we going here we go. I'll liken it to a boxing match. I'm a challenge fear. He may bust my head open, excuse my expression, but he may knock me down, and every time I get back up, he knock me down again. Maybe I learn not to go to the left. Maybe I learn to guard. Maybe I learn to move faster. Maybe I gotta challenge it to know. I can't just sit there with those burdens on me and try not to disturb them. Some areas have to be disturbed for me to move in progression. Sometimes they say the hardest thing that you needed to overcome, when you overcame that, the things that were lightweight was so much easier. Tackling the fear and the worst part of what holds me captive to that until I face that, face on, head on, can I be free of that? I have to free myself of some things. I have God that I depend on. I keep saying it, but I'm going to keep saying it because that's my anchor. God is my anchor. He encouraged me. He strengthened me. He understands me. He introduced me to myself. Beloved, I stand behind you. I'll tell you what I think, and I'll tell you what I feel. And this I have to tell you. We need to conquer our fear. We need to challenge whatever that is. Whatever it is. To be better. To be successful. We got stuff is waiting on the other side. We're like in a relay race. We're told to take our baton and run as fast as you can. I don't care if the guy in front of you, don't worry about him. Do your part. Get that baton to the next runner. We have to hold our position and do our part. That is our job. I believe that is one of our lessons in life, that this is something that we need to do for ourselves, for our own survival. Because we're going to run into brick walls in this life. It is that way. It's not going to change because I don't like it. It's not going to change because I don't want to challenge it. Sometimes you stay where you are until you get sick of it before you decide to move on. Sometimes that's what it takes. And with other people, it doesn't take that. With me, I dragged along a lot of dead weight behind me until I realized I don't have to carry those burdens. My father tells me that. Let go of some of that. Let go of that, man. Trust me. Try it. You know what we always say on our show? Or not on our show, but in our talk? We try, man. Try. What's the worst can happen? It'll work. It might work. How would I know if I don't try it? I see everybody around me trying. I see everybody around me growing. Do I stay where I am because I'm afraid to go further? No, I can't stay where I am. That's one that becomes restless. You don't stay where you are in the placement of life. You can't. It's school, same thing. First grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade. You gotta move on. We gotta go after the things that hold us back. How else are we to go forward when we got everything in the world dragging behind us? No, man. No. Today that changes. I have a message for you from my Father that He gave me. We gonna challenge some things up here. We ain't going for falling for everything. Talking about a company in the company of naysayers and scared rabbits and people that don't want to do what they need to do to go where they need to go and sit there and complain about what's stopping them and how it's up. No. Our excuse for those things are over. We shun that. We don't accept that. We don't. No. That, like I said, that's like you joining a conversation of something you got nothing in common with. You can simply walk away. You ain't gotta argue with the guy to change the conversation. You walk away. We always say there's two sides to the sidewalk. If this side is clogged, go to the other side. No. We're tired of avoiding ourselves. It's time we got down to business here and get to know who we are and take a hard look, because I guarantee you, God, fortify my truth. God won't let you down. And when you see, come on, beloved, when you see progress and you see you're moving closer to where you're trying to go, there is no encouragement in the world better than that. You feel good about yourself. You feel, you feel vibrant. You feel alive. You feel happy. You feel joy. I'll speak to my people. I have to speak to my people. We had everything so turned against us for so long. You think a lot of people would say, man, just give up. Just give up. Why go through all of that? To go through life, don't want nothing. Go steal, take somebody else's. They're not going to let you go get your own. They. The devil, the this one, the that one, the that. We get full of excuses. Let's start doing away with that. Stop it with the excuse. Stop it. And stop robbing yourself of what the future have for you. Stop accepting that. Let's stop it with that nonsense and get on the board and get up and do what we know we need to do and be responsible. And feel some way about yourself. Stop cheating yourself. We got enough of that outside the door. That cheat, lie, and steal. And we fall into that pity nonsense. Get up, man. Excuse me. Get up, woman. Get up, young one. Pick yourself up. Wipe yourself off. And get back in there. We are kings and queens and conquerors. Stop it with the believing of the lies that they give us about what our self-worth is. We're in a world that sometimes don't appreciate us. But damn it, we need to appreciate ourselves. Excuse my tongue. Excuse my language. But I'm tired of all of these excuses of why we can't go forward. We need to do away with them and get on the ball and get this thing going. And the only way we're going to do it is to get up and do it and stop making up excuses. Face your fear, whatever it is. Oh, I don't need a job. Go get a job. You may not start out with the best. You may start out in A&P supermarket packing bags you don't know where God is taking you. Don't you understand the smallest and the most humblest thing that we could do adds up to where we want to go? You want to go there no matter what. We got nothing to lose. We got to get up, sisters and brothers. We got to get up, people. Our parents dragged us as long as they could. Now it's time for us to stand on our own 2 feet and get it out of this life what we want. Stop denying ourselves. Stop being held captive by these things. Free yourself of them, man. Come on now. We can do better than that. Get back up. Get back in there. We're fighters. We're warriors. Who gonna tell you or me that we're not what God made us to be? We are conquerors. We got success all over our tongue. We want everything. But we got to learn how to work to get it, to appreciate it. Beloved, we work to appreciate our labor. That's what gives us what we want. Oh, Addie said, you don't work, you don't eat. You lay there hungry, and there's food all about you. Are you too lazy to get up and feed yourself? Have we gotten to that point? And if we have, we need to change it. We need to change it. Somebody said, no, leave him alone. When you're hungry, he'll eat. Sorry now. Here comes some tough love. Yeah, when he's hungry, he'll eat. Stop babying him. Stop playing with him. He know. Ain't an infant laying on the floor crying because she or he is hungry and they don't know how to feed themselves. We learned how to eat. We learned how to digest. We didn't even have to learn that. You put it in your mouth, you chew it, and it will go down. These simple laws and simple lessons, we got to be reminded because we're not simple-minded. There's nothing wrong with us. Stop thinking there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. If anything, there's something wrong with this world. And we need to renegotiate our stance. You can't keep a good man down, beloved. You are that. You are a child of God, man. If you could only believe it. You lay around like a beggar of somebody that's worthless. They done drill it into us so bad we hardly know what we're worth. That has to change. In this conversation, that not only have to change, it will change, and we'll see that it changed. We need to change. Let me introduce you to yourself. This is a challenge. I challenge you. Like God challenged me. Believe in me and do all that your heart desire. For I created you for that very thing. Stop denying yourself. Stop kidding yourself. Stop fooling yourself. Stop doubting yourself. Face your fear. You're going to run into it again down the road, I can assure you. But there's all sorts of fear. But once we get good at it, we ain't looking for trouble as such. We're looking for a good life. We want to be happy. We want to be productive. We want to take everything this life has to give us. And God gives us a chance to do all of those things. You need to check in, beloved. On the job, they used to say, if you couldn't make it today, call and let us know. That was being responsible for my work. So it is with my life. We're out of days off now. We done chilled enough. We've done nothing to deserve anything. We need to stop making excuses. Get up off your backside and go out there and get what is for you. It's sitting there and it's waiting for you. If you could only believe it, it's waiting for you. It's gathering dust, waiting for you. But you gotta go get it. You got everything you need to go and get it. What is the holdup? Come on now. Get up and do it, man. Try it. If I'm lying, you could, I said this before, I say it again, you could go back to where you are, don't want to be. You're in a place you don't want to be. You're not happy. Do you understand why you're not happy? Because you're not being true to yourself. Happiness is an inside job. Happiness ain't a new car, a new house, and all them things are new, but you old in your way of thinking. You're outdated. You follow excuses that other people use. You need to cut it out. Get up off your ass. Excuse me. Forgive me. But you need to get up. And you need tough love. And you need this kind of talking. Because if you're not moving, you need to move. You need to get up and move. And make an attempt. And try. And when you see that you could be and you will be successful, it'll encourage you to do other things. Stop sitting there waiting for something to be handed to you. Who are you? Who am I that I should sit back and wait for somebody to bring something to me? Big old grown man like me. No, 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 no. Those things need to stop, and they're going to stop. They're going to stop. Because I'm here to free you from yourself. And stop accepting those self-doubts, telling you can't. That's a lie. Stop accepting lies. Scripture tells me Satan is a father of all lies. There is no truth in him. Stop looking for truth out of a liar. Excuse me. It's like looking for sand in water. And water and sand, if you had a beach that might match. But one is dry and one is wet. We got enough sense to know what's left and what's right. And if we don't, we start practicing your left from your right. We go with the small things and we work it until we understand. And then we get up and get some results. Stop sitting back waiting for something to come to you, knock on your door. No. It's not going to happen. I'm here to tell you, you're wasting our time. You're wasting your time. And you're wasting your life, young people. Get up and get what you want. Work for what you got. It's the process of appreciation. Because you'll take care of it. And you'll value it. Because you worked hard for it. And these are rewards. You don't get rewards for sitting down and doing nothing. What world is that? What reward? You want a reward. For what? No. We get rewards when we do things to be proud of ourselves. What do is you're from a loin. Oh, Father, please. Get up and get busy. You could do it. Beloved, our family depends on it. Because if you're not helping your family, guess what? You're hurting the family. Say it again. I'll speak another language to you if I knew it. If you're not helping your family, you're hurting it. If you're not adding to what the family got, you're taking away. Think about it. Think about it. Think of what I'm saying. If I'm not telling the truth, goodbye. I'm talking to the wrong one. But in your heart and in your soul, you know I'm talking to you because it's you that need to get on the ball. And it's my job as a messenger that I bring you this message. You got to get up and running, partner. Excuse me, brother. You got to get up and get going. It's your time. Don't sit there and let your time just run out. Stop working against yourself and start working with yourself. You have everything you need to get everything that you want. If you could only realize it, maybe you'll get up and do it. And when you do, you'll help other people. Sometimes the biggest show is one that don't know they're paying attention, because it encourages other people. Excuse me. People see what you're doing. We have to be an example to each other. Don't you understand? It ain't about boasting. Oh, I got mine. Yeah, that's great. And all the rest of us could go to hell in a rocket ship. Excuse me. Please forgive me. I'm going to try to be careful with strong talk. But, beloved, I love you, man. I love you. I can't lie to you. We've been lied to long enough. Now we need to start lying to ourselves. Where does it end? Where does it end? No. No, man, we feed, nourish, strengthen, soldier, man, warrior, man. That's where we came from. Original man. Didn't just fall out the sky and come on, man. Come on now. We gotta fix this. That's my job. I hope I'm not too strong, family, today. But I want us to understand the message. We gotta learn to overcome our fear and face it. Whatever it brings. But it's gonna bring good. Guaranteed. Try some of these things. They're gonna lead you to places. And it's almost like when you're up and running, you ain't got time to look back. Maybe one day you will. And say, man, I remember come on, man. Come on, man. Sometimes the memories we don't even want to remember. But sometimes the process is a part of the book. We're going to go through things. We're going to lose jobs. We're going to lose loved ones. We're going to break up from relationships. Life is like that. But we got to get up and keep going. You understand? Because you feel that this doesn't mean, if you, pardon my expression, the movie's not over. It just started. What's going to happen? We got, God willing, we got more days. We'll fix it. We'll fix it. Maybe that one wasn't for you. Maybe that love wasn't for you. Maybe we got to learn how to pick better. Everything we pick isn't for us. I can't grab the next man's clothing and put it on and expect it to fit. It's not for me. It's the wrong size. Get the depiction? We got to get what's for us. Because what's for you is custom for you. Nobody else can wear it because it's not for them. It's for you. I'd like you to go away and give this some thought. Please, beloved, give it some thought. We're here. We're fortifying, man. I'm my brother's keeper. I am that, and you're my keeper. And we're one and the same. We have to help each other. And we will. Because there's enough of us out there that will do it. Throw your anchor on my ship. Well, my anchor's on my Father's. Amen. Funny thing also about the anchor. You used to hear, I don't know You might have heard this long, old song they used to sing, Anchors Away, when they used to leave the shore and they were going out to sea or going to far lands or wherever they were going. They used to sing Anchors Away, meaning to say, put the anchors away, lift the anchors up, we're moving now. There's a time to anchor and to hold still. You held still for a few minutes and heard what your brother had to say. Now it's time for action, so anchor away. Lift that anchor up and turn that ship where you want it to go and start getting busy, because everything is waiting on you. It's almost like we're dependent on you. And you can't cop out to us. We need you and you need us. And we're going to work like a team. Once again, beloved, I love you. Because I'm learning to love myself. But what God made isn't a mistake. I'm not a mistake, nor are you. And the things that we're going to face, we're going to face together. Filled of courage, walk away stronger, facing our truths, and stop playing games with ourselves. The games is over. It's time for work. It's time for some serious business. Let's get it done. Let's get it done together. If you're new here, once again, I hope you will join us again. You're welcome. I depend on you. I hope that I'm not too much for you. I trust that God said that this is what He would like of me, and I do my best to bring my best foot forward for you, because I would depend on there come a time when you may have to help me, and I hope you do help me, or I surely will help you. The love I have for my family is immeasurable. Thank you for joining us, excuse that language. And again, if you're new, hit the subscribe button. That's a way that we'll stay in touch. I'm going to keep talking. If God give it, I'm giving it. That's my job. That's what I'm here for. Not here for popularity. I'm not here for none of that. I'm just here to, as your brother, to try to encourage you, help you, fortify you, keep looking positive, and keep struggling. It's a strong word. I know it is. But to get somewhere and to get what we want, we got to struggle. That's not new to our family. We are strugglers. We've done that for centuries, and we're not going to stop now. Keep trying. Never give up. Remember that. Never give up. Never. Again, thank you for listening. Feel free to leave a comment if you find it agreeable to you. I hope I'm doing what I'm trying my best to do. And I'm always hoping for more improvement. I love you, brothers and sisters. Remember, I love you, family. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Look forward to tomorrow, because tomorrow, God willing, He's going to give us a whole nother task. So let's keep working. Look forward to where we're going to be, and have faith. Have faith in God. He won't disappoint us. Once again, thank you for listening. I love you, family. God bless you. Be safe. Peace.